Hello and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. If you are watching the video, yes, I have bedhead. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I am in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada, here facilitating bars and foundation. I don't know if you can hear those birds, but they would like to say hello to you. And I am down at the park. This park. I actually lived in Saskatoon a couple different times in my life so far, and this is just one of my favorite places. Now, this show is about what is true caring. And I want to give a little bit of warning in case this is going to be a bit of a trigger for you, because I'm going to actually talk about suicide today. So this might not be the show for you, and if it is, welcome, and if it isn't, no problem at all. I totally get it. So the reason that I'm actually sitting like this, and you can see the University Bridge behind me here in Saskatoon, is last year, an old school friend of mine, I haven't spoke to her in years, actually killed herself by jumping off of that bridge. And there's so many pieces to talk about. I was actually going to do this as one of my short videos, weekly videos that I do. And as I was doing my morning jog, how does it get any better? There was just so much that I wanted to share about this topic. Because prior to me studying the tools of access consciousness, I really saw caring as taking care, jumping in, controlling, superior bitching, superior bastarding, bossing people around, however you want to see it. It was all that energy. That's to me what true caring was. And I was a good person and I was a nice person if I did those things to people. Wow. In fact, I remember one of my nephews, my oldest nephew, he was probably, I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 when he started talking about wanting to be an ice road trucker, which means you drive big, heavy trucks over ice in the winter here in Canada and probably elsewhere too, wherever there's ice. And I would say to him, "Oh, no, you can't do that. No, that's horrible. No, you can't do that." Now, did I really think he couldn't do it, or did I really not want him to do it? No, of course not. I was thrilled that he was excited about something like that. But what I had learned growing up was that if you care about somebody, you stop them, or you prove how much you care through that limitation, through that, I care so much, don't do it. What in the actual hello? Anyway, so true caring from access, and what is so true for me now is true caring is allowing the person to choose what they're going to choose without a point of view. Yeah. So how does this relate to my sweet friend who chose to jump off that bridge last year? Is not for me to have a point of view about it. Now, I can be sad about it for me. I can have all sorts of things for me about it. But the moment I go into how wrong she was, or how bad it is, or she shouldn't have done that, or she should have asked for help, or she should, that's when I'm going into, I'm actually not caring. Because that's for me. That's my stuff. And this is what we call in access, everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Because everything's opposite of what it appears to be. True caring, imagine caring for somebody so much that even if they chose to take their own life, you had no point of view about it. Yeah. Now, take that into, we might call less extreme choices, like maybe where your kids want to go to university, or maybe they don't want to go to university, or maybe if your spouse wants to ride their motorbike. I mean, I had such interesting points of views about hubby having a motorbike. Now, the thing with hubby is he doesn't listen to me. What? I know, I'm shocked too. And so, for years I would say, no, he'd talk about, no, and he got one anyway. And I realized it was the same energy. I was proving how much I cared by telling him he couldn't do something he loved. What? So, it can be from the most extreme to the least extreme and everywhere in between. So if you would like to be the true caring that you truly be, what if you start using my number one tool, interesting point of view, I have that point of view, which is one of the things I went to when I heard about my friend's choice. And I just, in my head, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. Because right away, as soon as I heard about it, I went into, oh no, oh what if, oh should have, no. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And gosh guys, I use that tool on everything. Try it, use it, whether you've got body aches and pains, you've got people you want to throat punch, like everything, just in your head over and over. And even if you've got nothing going on in your life and you're just driving to work and there's like nothing, run it anyway. Because even driving to work, you might see somebody on a bike without a helmet, and then you might have an interesting point of view about that. Or you see, I've got a Canada goose watching me. It's just so funny. I don't think I can turn my camera. Anyway, doesn't matter. Squirrel, in this case, goose. My gosh. Anyway, so the more that you allow everyone in your world and everything to choose what they're choosing without a point of view, one, you're going to have way more ease. You're going to have way less trauma. And then guess what? You're going to gift yourself the same kindness, the same caring. Oh, now we've got 3 of them fighting. This spiraled quickly. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So yesterday, well, actually, as I was, planning my trip into Saskatoon and stuff, I knew for me that I would like to do something in honor of my friend for me. So this isn't about her or her needing it for her, it's for me. And I thought of just taking some flowers and throwing them off the bridge. That was kind of in my world for a while. And then yesterday, I guess, that was the day before yesterday, I guess, and I was facilitating foundation. It wasn't even on my mind at all. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then all of a sudden, these guys are noisy. All of a sudden, I just had like Cheetos come to mind. And Cheetos, in case you don't know, they're like a snack food. They're kind of like Cheesies, but not. And I had these Cheetos come to mind, which is a memory that my friend and I have years and years ago. We were probably like 15 or 16. She was so drunk. I was probably drunk too, but she was so drunk. And we were in the back of a car, probably going to a party or something. And she had these Cheetos that she was eating, and she kept dropping them. And then she'd pick one up like off the ground or the seat or whatever to go, and it was just, and then she'd like, oh, it's clean, I can eat it. And then a little while later, she did it the same thing. She blew it off and she's like, Niece, which is what growing up, my close friends and family would call me. Do you want a Cheeto? And I was like, no, I don't. I actually don't like Cheetos. But I still didn't want one. And she's like, but Niece, they're clean. And it was like this funniest memory of like, anytime we got together after that, we laughed and we laughed and we laughed over that same memory. And so that Cheetos came to mind, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to go and dump a bag, open it and dump it. I kept the garbage, don't worry, over the bridge there. And that for me, again, I didn't do it for her. It was caring for me. She doesn't need me. She's an infinite being. She doesn't need me to throw Cheetos over the bridge. For me, what that has gifted me is now, when I think about the bridge and I think of her choice, I have that funny memory. And it was so cute because hubby knows the story, and he came with me, and we were walking away, and he said, oh, you should have kept one and eaten it. And I was like, oh, yeah. Still, I don't like them. But, it was kind of like, I just stopped for a moment, like, yeah, I guess I could have. And he's like, because it was clean. And then we laughed and laughed and laughed. So it's just changed it for me now. And again, it was for me. So true caring is truly caring for you or them or both of you so much that you don't have a point of view about the choices they make or the choices you make. Now, that doesn't mean you use that to create shit in your life. That doesn't mean you go, oh, well, you know what? I can totally care for me, and I can go and, I don't know, sleep with somebody you know that isn't going to create more to sleep with or something like that. That's not what I'm talking about at all. This truly, this guy is getting closer. Pretty soon he's going to be in the camera. You guys are going to be like able to say hello to this guy. Maybe I'm in his territory. I'm not sure. Anyway. Yeah, so everything all of this brings up, we destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. If you're not familiar, go to theclearingstatement.com. It works like a magic wand. And so when I talk about stuff like this, even if you have no experience of suicide in your life, there's been nobody that you know or anything, there's still an energy on it. There's still such an energy of wrongness and of shame, and that people shouldn't, or like, and there's all sorts of religions have all sorts of interesting points of views that get projected that, and I remember even when I was studying metaphysics years ago, it was all about that, like if you did, you were basically punished and you had to come straight back to earth, like you didn't get any choice, or like there's all sorts of things. What if those are all interesting points of views? Yeah, so right now, let's do that together. Whatever comes up for you with regards to suicide, and whether it's something you've thought of yourself, whether it's something you've attempted yourself, whether it's something that's occurred in your family or your friend circle, or something you know nothing about, or some, like whatever it is, whatever comes up with that, and it doesn't have to be specific. You don't have to be thinking about it and figuring it out. Yeah, let's do it together. So bring up all that energy. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. And this goose is really contributing to us, guys. I freaking love it. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Yeah, notice that it's lighter. Now for some of you there might still be a lot there. You might just continue to do it, of course. For some there might be, you might be forget what we were even doing. Like that's how magical that tool is. And what that is is basically us acknowledging it's just an interesting point of view. It's not true. It's not actually true. Because what happens is we add all of these stories. We go, well, they wouldn't have if, so I'm talking about suicide here, you know, they wouldn't have chose it if I would have been better, if I would have been able to step in, if somebody would have told me, if I could have helped them, you know what? That is so freaking unkind. That is so unkind to them. They chose it. They chose it. They chose it. Interesting point of view, we have that point of view. Interesting point of view, we have that point of view. Interesting point of view, we have that point of view. And what happens is we make it about them rather than what is true for us. Be present with what's true for you. You would have preferred them not to. That's probably a really, blatant statement, but that's, when I look at with my friend, I would have preferred her not to. I would have preferred her to call me out of the blue and say, hey, can I have some assistance here? Or I need some assistance here. Or I would have preferred that. Guess what? It's not my choice. It wasn't up to me. Now what I can do is I can look at that and go, okay, you know what? Everywhere in my life where I've decided that somebody should do something different than what they would like to do, I destroyed and created all, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because true caring, guys, and I know I keep saying this, but honestly, when we get it, we get it, and I'm still getting it, believe me. I talk about it, you might think, wow, she's really got this figured out. No, I'm way more figured it out than before, absolutely. And still there's so much. This goose is I'm really enjoying this, so yay. And I love how much nature contributes also. Like I love how much nature contributes. This goose knows exactly what he or she, I'm not sure, is doing to contribute. The trees know. The sun rising behind me Like, how does it get any better than that? How magical does that bridge look, and does the water look with that sun rising? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is often what's going on in my head. If it's not interesting point of view, it's thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And truly, guys, what else is possible when we're willing to care for us and for others so much that we don't have a point of view? And if you would like a magical life, be interesting point of view in everything you choose. Every thought that goes on, every time you drive down the street and maybe you see that person without the helmet on with their bike, or you see somebody, yelling at their kid, or you watch the news, like whatever it is, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Now, I use the example of somebody yelling at their kid. So here's the thing. If we're interesting point of view, if we have no point of view, what it means is that we actually be infinite allowance. But it doesn't mean we're a doormat. So if you see somebody abusing their child, you're not going to go, well, I'm conscious and I've got no point of view about it, so I'm just going to walk on by. That's not interesting point of view. That's not infinite allowance. Infinite allowance means your points of views will not skew your awareness. So for a long time, and still sometimes, I've had very interesting points of views, very strong judgments against people who abuse animals. Which meant if I had a judgment in my life that my neighbor was a really nice person. So how is that a judgment? That's not a question. That's not an acknowledgement of, oh, hey, they chose to be nice in that moment. It's they're always nice. So as soon as we go to something like that, where they're always something, that's when we've actually went into judgment, because nobody's ever always something. So if I've taken the judgment that my neighbor is nice, that they're always nice, they're just nice people, they're good people, I would never, because of my judgments of animal abuse and how wrong it is, and only bad people do animal abuse, even if my neighbor was doing it, I wouldn't be aware of it. So this is where it's a true gift to be infinite allowance, because you wouldn't have the blinders on. The blinders of, in this case, that animal abuse is bad and only bad people do it. Those are blinders, which mean I can't be aware when somebody who I've judged as good or nice does it. Which is why when we hear maybe about a priest or a minister or a school teacher or a doctor or something like that doing like sexual abuse to somebody, we're usually shocked, because our blinders are, those people don't do that. Those people are good people. Guys, let's take the blinders off. Let's take the blinders off. Now, we don't do the opposite of go, well, every preacher does this or every school teacher does that. That's same blinders, just different blinders, but same energy. Take them off. Be willing to be interesting point of view. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So the more that you be interesting point of view, the more allowance you be, the less you are going to be surprised, the more aware you are going to be, and the more choice that you're going to be aware of in those situations. So if, taking the blinders off and I become aware that my neighbors are, say, abusing their animal, then I would actually be aware, one, I'd be aware of it, and two, I'd be aware of what was required to change it. Because I wouldn't have the blinders on. I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, they keep their dog, I don't know, tied up for 20 hours a day or something like that. Okay, so what's required? Do I call the animal people? Do I go and talk to them? Is it education piece? Is it like, we would then have that awareness, and that is such a gift, rather than animal abusers are horrible and awful and they're disgusting and they should be killed, and then we're not even aware when somebody we know is choosing it from that. Whew, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Now I tell you what, suicide, animal abuse, I talking about all sorts of things. Yeah, and these are the things, not necessarily do I mean like we have to talk about them and we must, make them really heavy and significant. It really is like, let's change it. Let's change it. Let's care about people and everything so much that we allow them to choose what they're choosing with no point of view and not as a doormat. So if something's required, there's an action on our part to change it, that we could, that there's something else possible, then we would also have that awareness. But anything we do from that judgment of they can't, they shouldn't, or, I need to sit my kid down and get them to figure out what university they're going to, or I need to, control my husband not to get a motorbike, or tell him he can't ride it, or, oh my gosh, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pot, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah, like true caring, guys, true caring. Imagine a world, imagine a planet where every person allowed every person their choice, every other person and themselves their choice with no point of view. How much more could we create? How much less trauma would we choose? Yeah, that's a lot. We wouldn't be able to talk about people. Well, I mean, of course we still could, but like, we wouldn't need them to be different. We could celebrate them for who they are instead of who we've decided they should be. And a lot of times that's projecting onto them. It's like, a lot of parents are directing their kids, not from the place of like, I need to help you, but really from the place of, I need to look good. So you need to choose this because I need to look good. I need to look good as a parent. Now, a lot of parents probably don't have that specific thing going through their head cognitively, but a lot of times energetically, that's what's going on. So everything that brings up. You destroy it, uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pot, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So now I'm very cold. So I think we're going to have to call this a show, guys. It's a little bit shorter than usual. And I'll probably do some footage of some of these geese. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. But again, look at that beauty behind us. How does it get any better than that, my sweet friends? Truly, what else is possible that we've never even considered? Yeah, and what energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can us and our bodies be to be the infinite caring for each other and ourselves that we truly be. Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pot, pot, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yep, there's a jog or two. Yay. Okay, I am going to turn this camera so you guys can see see him? There he is. How cute is he? Oh, maybe he's a little shy because now he's walking away. This is such a beautiful park. Oh my gosh. Have a fabulous week, sweet friends, and I look forward to chatting again next week.